सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां तपोभिः क्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्ष्योऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते. We looked at the 50th shloka last time. A very interesting comparison actually. Tirtva moharnavam bhatva ragadveshadi rakshasan yogi Shanti samayuktaha atmaramo virajate. Yogi is compared to Rama here, the Avatara Purusha. So Atmarama also refers to, he is an Atmarama, Atmani ramate iti Atmaramaha, or Atma eva aramaha yasya, for whom this Atma is like the garden where he can entertain himself and spend time, feel happy about it. Or the other comparison here is just like how Rama crossed the ocean and killed all the Rakshasas and was united with Sita, Shanti Samayuktaha. In the same manner, a yogi also, he crosses the ocean of moha, delusion. He kills all the antashatru in the form of raga, dvesha, etc. And then he is united with peace here. In the sense, he understands Atman and he dwells in that, revels in that. Yeah. Now, the moment we understand about this, we want to know what is the lakshanam of a Jivan Mukta. How do we recognize him? Tarhi tasya Jivan Muktasya kim lakshanam iti akankshayam aha. Bāhyanitya sukhāsaktim hitvatma sukha nirvritaha ghatastha deepavat shashvat antaha eva prakashate. Bāhya anitya sukha asaktim hitva atma sukha nirvritaha Ghatastha deepavat shashvat antaha eva prakashate. A Jivan Mukta yogi, he becomes detached from anything, that any object that is there outside that he thinks gives him happiness, but that happiness is anitya sukham. It is a non-eternal sukham and which is also coming from outside. So, which means it is dependent on the object. So, for any object in the world to give us sukham, it is dependent on that particular object. As long as that we have an interest towards that object, we will be attracted towards that object that will give us priyam. Atmanastu kama, but we don't realize that everything is priyam because it is Atmanastu kamaya, because I want it. Because there is a desire within me to obtain that object, and so I think that that object is going to give me pleasure. Whereas another person may not have derive the same kind of pleasure from the same object. So which means the happiness exists within oneself and it is not outside. If we think there is a sukham outside, that is not an eternal sukham, because our object of sukham keeps moving from one to another. It is never stable. It is never eternal. When we are a child, our happiness is probably in very insignificant things. And then slowly it increases. The object shifts. The object of happiness shifts to something else. When you're a youth, when you're an old person, at each stage of your life, every day it changes. Today you may like something, tomorrow you may not like something. So that itself shows us that any sukham that comes from an outside object is anityam. Bahya anitya sukha asakti. So an attachment towards such a kind of sukham is not going to result in an eternal bliss. So tathitva, having removed that factor from his life, a Jivan Mukta. So bahyeshu brahmananda vyatirikteshu anityeshu brahmatmakeshu sukheshu sukha sadhaneshu srakchandana vanitadishu swarga sukha sadhaneshu karmasu cha asaktim asham hitva nama sarva viraktaha bhutva, having detached himself completely from all kinds of actions which will give him, or which is the actions which prove to be tools to give us aihika sukham or amushmika sukham. Aihika sukham, that is sukham of this world, or amushmika sukham, which is swarga sukham. anything. And those are all Brahmatmakam. Those are all illusory happiness. So Brahmananda Vyatiriktam. This is not the same as Brahmanandam. So it is non-eternal. So Tadrisha Karmasu Asaktim Asham Hitva. Letting go of that attachment towards such objects. What does he do? Atma Sukha Nirvritaha. Atma Sukhena Brahmananda Amritarasena Nirvritaha Avritaha. Sorry. Avritaha na. Actually Nirvritaha is being contented or being fulfilled with that Atma Sukham, with the Brahmananda, the bliss in the form of Atma. Yeah? So Nirvritaha sanna or Avritaha sanna. Purnaha Bhutva Nitaram Triptas sanna. Athava, there is another way he is saying, Atma Sukhe Nirvritaha. So, two ways to look at it. When you take Tritiya Vibhakti, Atma Sukhena Avritaha, one who is filled by Atma Sukha. If you take it as Saptami Vibhakti, then Atma Sukhe Nirvritaha. Nirvritaha here is Samyak Linaha, one who is completely absorbed in the sukham, in the bliss, Atmananda. Both mean the same, end result is the same form. Shashvat Sarvada Ghatastha Deepavat Antaha Eva Prakashate. Like a lamp which is present inside a pot. It keeps illuminating only that which is inside. So Atma Kumbha Antargata Deepaha Iva Antaha Buddhi Guhayam Prakashate Natu Bahihi. We don't see it coming out. That is, we don't see the Chaitanyam illuminating the objects of the world because the objects of the world cease to exist as far as the Brahmajnani is concerned. So, this is like a lamp which is kept within a pot. Assume that there are no holes in the pot and the pot is closed, so that Deepam is capable of only illuminating the insides of it. In the same way, a Jnani also understands only what is within him. That Chaitanyam no longer illuminates the objects outside in the sense that they are irrelevant to him. That is why they do not illuminate. Not because it is not capable of illuminating. It's just that it becomes irrelevant to him. So he doesn't need it there. Only if we need to go and check a storeroom, are we going to take the light and check that storeroom? If we know that we don't need any object that is there in that storeroom, we will not search there at all. Let's say it is a room which has been locked for, say, 5 years. You have not even entered into that room. You have lost an object. How would it be there? You cannot go and search there. You won't even think. In the same way, for a Jnani, the objects outside do not exist at all. So it only illuminates what is there within him, which is the Atma Swarupa. Anena Jivan Muktasya Bahya Vishaya Sakti Rahityameva Parapratyksham Lingam iti Suchitam. So the Parapratyksham, any other object is not visible for him because there is no attachment towards another object for him. He is only immersed in that Atma Sukha. Bhahyanitya Sukhasaktim Hitvatma Sukha Nirvritaha Ghatastha Deepavat Shashvat Antaha Eva Prakashate. Next வந்து Jivan Muktasya Tadnya Drishtya Prarabdha Abhave Api Agnya Drishtya Prarabdha Abhasasya Vidyamanatvat Takshaya Paryantam Sharira Yatradikaryeshu Katham Statavyam Ityakankshaya. Upadishati. Now, when we look at a Jivan Mukta, from his aspect, from his perspective, Tadnya Drishtya iti chet Jivan Muktasya Brahmajnana Drishtya. So, a Jivan Mukta has two persona, Madri. When he is immersed in that Brahmajnanam, we understand that he doesn't have any prarabdha there. If there was a prarabdha, he would not be an enlightened soul at all. So prarabdha abhave. Agnya Drishtya, but we see him moving around with people and using the objects of the world and interacting with the world. So from a person who does not understand such a state, it seems as if he is still stuck in this body because of karma, and there is a prarabdha, there is an abhasa of prarabdha, there is a semblance of prarabdha karma which seem to be acting with a Jivan Mukta. Let's say there is a Jivan Mukta. A person who is a Brahmagyani will understand that this person is a Jivan Mukta and he has no prarabdha karma, and it is just whatever he wishes to be there, so he is there. That's all. Or Ishvara Leelaya Tatra Vartate. That's all. Ishvara's or Leela is working in place here. But if it is a ignorant person who is looking at the Jivan Mukta, he will say, if he is a Jivan Mukta, he would have immediately left this body and he would have gone. Why is he still in this body? So which means there is a semblance of prarabdha karma, and only when that prarabdha karma goes off, he can become a complete enlightened one. There are many, some people believe that some people in Yoga Vasishtam, Jivan Muktir Nama, Jivati Sati Muktaha. Okay, there is no prarabdha karma, no sanchita karma, no agami karma, nothing. Even prarabdha karma is gone. Now the state is such that it is, prarabdha karma is there, but then it doesn't affect the soul. It doesn't affect the jiva, because the jiva is no longer attached to the manas or the buddhi or any of the ajnanam, maya and its karya. So that is Jivan Mukta. Jivati Sati Muktaha. So that is a state for certain people. And they don't separate between Kaivalya, Videha Mukti and Jivan Mukti. Videha Mukti ingarthukku, Jivan Mukti ingarche, a person who interacts with the world. Yet he is an enlightened one. Whereas a Videha Mukta, Dehatta vittu poradilla. Adavadhu he doesn't leave the body and go away, but he is still in the body, but those bodies are not affecting the jiva. That is called Videha Mukti. We think that once he is out of the body, that is only Videha Mukti. That's what at least I was thinking for a long time. Jivan Mukti is a jiva who is within the body. Videha Mukta is a person who is not within this shariram and he has gotten out of that is death. He has gotten out of that shariram. So only after death can he be called as an enlightened Tathanasta. So in Yoga Vasishtam very clearly he says, as long as an enlightened person, Mukta, is interacting with the Vyavaharika world with the knowledge that it is a Brahma, it is Maya, it is an illusion, he is called a Jivan Mukta. There can be people who are like Balonmatta Jadabharada or someone who don't have that connection with the body at all. Yet they exist from the perspective of an Agnya, an ignorant person. There seems to be a prarabdha karma in it. Now how does he function when he still has to be in this physical body? How does he function? Katham sthatavya. These are actually shlokas from Bhagavatam. Gramaikaraatra vidhina nirapekshaha charen mahim budho balakavat kridet kushalo jadavat charet vaded unmattavad vidwan gocharyam naigamas charet ityadi vachananusarena brahmavitcharyam Acharyaha Paramakripaluhu Upadishati. Śaṅkarāchārya Paramakripaluhu, the most compassionate one, he explains, Upadishati, he tells us about the charya, about the actions of how a Brahmavit acts. What are the actions of a Brahmavit, the one who has the knowledge of Brahman. So this one is in the 7th skandam, 13th chapter. It's Narada's advice. So I'm just trying to figure out what the context here is. Prahlada. Okay. So these are the advice. This is the advice that Narada gives. He describes the various ashrama, etc. it is a meeting between Prahlada and somebody else. So Narada explains this. This is what it is. Context. Right from the beginning of that chapter. Kalpastu evam parivrajya dehamatra avasheshitaha. Kalpaha is a person who has undergone all the, who has renounced his life and is a sannyasa. Oh, nimsha. Let me share that text so that it's easier to... Kalpastu evam parivrajya. Kalpaha nama, one who has let go of the karma kanda. So karma marga. Dehamatra avasheshitaha. He only has his body with him. Parivrajya nama. He has parivrajaka rupena tatra sannyasa rupena saha gacchati. So he has let go of his grasthashrama. Gramaikaraatra vidhina. He can live in the village only for one night. Ekaratra vidhina. Nirapekshaha, without any expectations. Mahim charete, he roams around in the bhumi. The next shloka. Bibhriyat yaddi asau. Mela pordu, veredo or solradu. Buddhaha balakavat kridet. I think just moves on. Girkan pakare. No. I thought it was in the continuously in this. This is in Uddhava Gita. Say. Adhyaya 29. One. But which didn't theriyala. This 11th skandam is full of Vedāntam. 10th is Dashama skandam is Krishna's Leela, but then the 11th skandam is completely Vedāntam. And idilada you have the Avadhuta Gita, Uddhava Gita, Brahmara Gita. Nariya irukku indha edathila full and full it is completely Advaita Vedāntam. So Buddhaha balakavat kridet. So balonmattavat irukilla. So an intelligent person, he in Buddhaha atratu, one who understands the difference between nitya and anitya. So balakavat kridet, he plays like a child. Kushalaha jadavat charet, he's an expert. Although he's an expert, he does not talk about his expertise to everybody. He acts as if he is a jada, like Jada Bharata. He just behaves like a dullard, someone who doesn't understand, who doesn't have that expertise. Oru idu undu subhashitam. Na prishtak kasyachit bruyat. Na bruyad anyayena prichatah. So na aprishtaha kasyachit bruyat. One should never give an advice for a person who did not ask you for it. Nor can you tell someone, if someone is asking, why don't you tell me? Anyayena prichatah. One who asks without any propriety. Even for that person, you are not obliged to answer each and everybody, he says. So, jadavat charet. He should just behave like a person who doesn't have that expertise at all. Vadet unmattavat vidwan. Even though he is a vidwan, he knows everything, the most learned person. Still, he should speak like an unmattavat. The Unmatta Panchashattam, Atmarpana Stuti, Appaya Dikshitar has written a stotram of 50 shlokas. Unmattam. He says, if I'm talking about something else, let me be in that state. You don't need to bring me back. If I'm talking about Shiva or something, sense, and that too Bhakti Purvakam, then you can bring me back after you write down whatever I have said. Yeah. Unmattavat vidwan. Gocharyam naigamas charet. Naigamaha, even though he is nigama yuktaha. Nigameshu shilaha tasya vartate naigamaha. One, even though he knows about Vedic rituals and everything, gocharyam charet. He should behave in a manner, he should just roam around the bhumi. No matter what. Usually, if you know the Vedas, you are supposed to stay in one place and follow the Karma Kanda. Whereas, he says, even if he knows the Vedas, he would go around of his own accord. Adanga. Naigamas charet. Idu kudukkararu ippo. Ajivan Mukta Lakshanam. Yeah. So Gramaikaraatra Vidhina Nirapekshaha Charen Mahim. So till this one it is in 7th skandam. This part is in 11th skanda. Budho Balakavat Kridet Kushalaha Jadavat Charet Vaded Unmattavad Vidwan Gocharyam Naikamas Charet Ityadi Vachananusarena. By following those words, Brahmavit Charyam, Brahmavidaha Charya, Brahmavit Charya, the actions of a Brahmavit, one of the knower of Brahman, Acharyaha, Shankara Bhagavadpadaha, Paramakripaluhu Upadishati. So how is he? Upadisthopi tad dharmaihi aliptaha vyomavan munihi sarvavit mudavat tishthet asaktaha vayuvat charet. Similarly, similar to the shlokas that he has cited, upadhisthaha api, even though he has the upadhi of deha, karana shariram, sukshma shariram and stula sharira. This is only from the drishti of an ajna. See, ajna drishtya upadhi rupena deha rupena sthitaha api. From the perspective of a person who is ignorant, it seems as if he is present within the body. So upadhi, it is a limiting adjunct. Even though he is present within that body, still tad dharmaihi, the dharma, the qualities that are associated with the sthula shariram, sukshma shariram and karana shariram do not affect him. Aliptaha padmapatra ivambasaha. So one who is not completely attached to the leaf, like a water droplet on a lotus leaf. So in the same way, he is also not attached by the qualities of those three shariras or the koshas, pancha kosha. That is, he doesn't say, I am fat, I am thin, I am hungry, I am tired. All of these things are sharira dharma, nadu atma dharma. Iti tasya vivekaha vartate. So upadhistaha api, even though he is present in that upadhi, being a muni, munina manute, brahmaiva sada manute atmatvena jnayate iti munihi. One who is a brahmavit. So samaya we say muni is mananashilaha, one who has the capability of thinking constantly, meditating. He is a muni. Atratu brahmaiva sada manute, one who is constantly thinking about Brahman is a muni. So tadrishaha munihi upadisthaha api, even though he is present in this limiting factor in the form of deham. Vyomavat, like akasha, tad dharmaihi, akasha dharmaihi or upadhi dharmaihi, na liptaha, aliptaha sanna, he is not connected. So there is a space here within this house. Let's say this house is made up of concrete, whether the house is made up of concrete or whether it is a clay pot or whether it is a space between the human fingers, there is no change that comes to the akasham that is there in all of these places. Akasha is one and the same. It does not get affected by the upadhi. It's only a person who doesn't understand this thinks that it gets affected. The air outside is bad. The air inside is better. Or the air that is purified by air purifier is better. You only remove certain things that come in as an upadhi. It does not affect the akasham that is there. So Vyomavat, like the sky, tad dharmaihi aliptaha. It is not connected by the dharmas. Sarvavit Mudhavat tishtet. Sarvavit, even though vidwan, vaded unmattavad vidwan. Sarvavit, he knows everything, yet he stands as a fool. Mudhavat tishtet. Asaktaha vayuvat charet. Sarvavit, sarvajnaha api mudhavat manda iva charet tishtet. Antarbodhaha bahir jadaha. Antarbodhaha bahir jadaha. One who is enlightened inside, but he appears to be a dull person outside. Iti nyayena brahmavit api bahihi jadavat charet asaktaha sanna. Yadricha prapteshu api bhogyeshu asaktirahitaha sanna. He has no attachment towards the objects that come of their own accord. Yadricha labha. Santushtaha illa. Yadricha labhena prapteshu api bhogyeshu. Even though they are enjoyments, objects of enjoyments, which he gets randomly, out of random choice, but still he doesn't get attached to it. Vayuvat, like wind, Vayuvat charet na noche dragadibihi badyate ityartah. So he just moves around like wind, which doesn't get affected and stand in one place. It is constantly sarvagatikaha. And the madri, I think even the yogi, he constantly moves because he is reveling within himself. These things don't bind him or grab his attention at every point, because his attention is constantly somewhere else. Just like Vayu, it will find its way around obstacles. அந்த மாதிரி. I think that's what he means by Vayuvat asaktaha charet. Without getting attached to the things that come in between, Vayu just keeps flowing around all of those objects. In the same way, the Jivan Mukta also just flows. Upadisthopi tadharmaihi aliptaha vyomavat munihi sarvavit moodhavat tishthet asaktaha vayuvat charet. மேல ஏதோ எழுதுறார். I'll look at that next class and then we'll go over that if there is anything. சரியா?